For quite some time now, we've seen a dance going back and forth between Europe, the euro, and the pound, where for a while the euro dominates and then for a while the pound outperforms. And it looks as though last week, with the euro having outperformed up till now, we're now, however, seeing the dominant shift back towards the pound. This is coming quite significantly as it's a big week for politics in the UK as well as in Europe. We'll start with the UK. This is a week that Brexit could come to a head. The House of Commons is back reviewing the Brexit bill and deciding what to do about the amendments that the House of Lords has proposed. They could accept them and put the bill through, or they could reject them and try and push the bill through again. Once the bill is through Parliament, then the UK is starting to head towards triggering Article 50, whether they do it this week or next week, but certainly it looks as though that process is continuing. On top of that, on Wednesday we get UK employment. On Thursday there's a Bank of England meeting. It's also a huge week potentially for political news in Europe. One of the reasons that the euro had been doing well last week was signs that the Eurosceptics were losing a bit of ground. Marine Le Pen was starting to drop back in France, and Wilders was starting to drop back in the Netherlands. However, over the weekend, with a diplomatic incident between Netherlands and Turkey, it looks as though Wilders has started to get a second wind at his back, and the Netherlands election could still be close. That's being held on Wednesday. As well, there is a French poll suggesting Marine Le Pen starting to bounce back as well. So, but on top of poll results, we have the actual Netherlands election. On top of that, we have German Chancellor Merkel off to meet U.S. President Trump on Tuesday the 14th. This is a big deal because there's been a lot of friction between the two countries. President Trump, for example, was quite upset about European contributions in terms of military spending towards NATO. He's quite upset with Germany about he feels that they're using the euro as a way to devalue their currency, and everybody, I think it's become pretty clear in the cases of Greece, Italy, Spain, and others that if Germany was not in the euro, a standalone Deutschmark would be valued a lot more than Germany being in the euro. So it's not whether it's manipulated or not, it's just Germany being in the euro that's causing a problem. There's other trade frictions as well. Merkel's upset about the fact that Germany could get caught up in a U.S. border tax, so there's trade issues as well. So there's a lot of potential things that could flare up there. We'll see what actually happens and what comes out of that meeting. So there's a lot going on politically that could move both the euro as well as the pound this week. And of course, lingering in the background as well is also the Fed meeting and what influence that has on the US dollar. But for now, I'm focusing more on Europe. So let's start with the euro US dollar, which has been swinging up and down, as we can see, and it has been on an upswing last week. It now looks like it could be peaking, though. Today's spike up to 107.20 and coming back. This could be forming a one-day shooting star candle. This also looks like it could be the second day in an evening star pattern. We'll see, because we also just broke out of a downtrend. We caused this descending triangle here to fail. So are we starting a new uptrend, or is this just a head fake and we could start rolling back over? So far, the RSI is telling us same. We're not quite sure yet. Is this for real, a rally that's for real, or is this just a head fake and it's starting to roll over? If we move on to the euro against the yen, we see the same sort of thing where we've had the euro had been starting to break down. It broke out of this downtrend. It's now back up into this channel resistance zone between 123 and 124. Can it get through this, or is it starting to run out of gas? This looks like it's starting to run out of gas a little bit. We'll see we'll have a better idea over the next 24 hours as to which way this could be heading. If we look at euro pound, which is quite significant, also we can see the euro has been very strong against the pound in recent weeks, but look at this. This is starting to roll over. This is a dark cloud cover. We touched a new high coming back down. This could also be a significant Western reversal day using Western techniques as well, and setting a lower high here below 88. This first support is just under 87, and then this 86.60 Fibonacci level, 50-day moving average closer to 85.80. And finally, a couple of other things to note. We're going to watch the pound against the US dollar because the pound looks like it's forming a pretty major bottom here. We've seen this looked like it could have been a double bottom based on intraday data. It also looks like we're forming a head and shoulders base with this October low and the last week's March low fairly similar, and then the head here. What are we seeing? We do have a higher low in the RSI, so potentially, and we could see that this may be have been a correction that's now starting to end. And look, we had it down, 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 kind of leveled off. Now we're starting to turn significantly back upward again. New interest coming back into the pound. It's rallied up from about 121.70 up towards about 122.35. Initial resistance on this one about 123, and then about 123.50 to 60. Give or take, heading up towards this 50-day moving average here. One final thing, gold. If we do start to see the Eurosceptics really gain ground again, we could also see renewed interest in gold. And this is almost a morning star here. We had a big down day. We've got a hammer candle, but we haven't had the big spike up yet that you'd want to see to call this a full evening star. But still, this hammer here does suggest, and this doji here suggests that the bearish momentum that had dominated the last couple of weeks is starting to fade and things are moving back into balance. RSI, same thing. Looks as though this is a correction that's starting to wind down as well. So it looks like we're heading into what could be a big week for trading both in the UK and in Europe.